What I know is about the quantum financial system is because I am the official spokesperson for the quantum financial system.
But the banks don't know about it yet. And they're plugged in to the quantum financial system. And 48 hours ago, it went live.
I don't know if the girls managed to get across to you a message that I got about the quantum financial system and the BRICS bank system.
I don't know either what you're referring to.
Basically, just to give it, because I was going to talk to you about it because of the fact that I got a message through saying that the quantum financial system, this is from one of my spiritual guys, who said to me the QFS is not asset backed, but the BRICS bank is, but the QFS was a white hat operation to distract. That's what I was told yesterday.
Here we go again. Charlie Ward has just admitted that the last 4 or so years of him proclaiming that he is a spokesperson for the QFS and all of the narratives that he's spun around that was all bullshit. Shocker. Let's talk about it. Hi guys, I'm MC Seeker of Truth, and I'm back, griff busting again. I know I've been away for a while. I've not done any videos griff busting for over a year, due to sort of health issues and personal life stuff. But here I am again, doing it again. I'm getting too old for this shit. But look. As I said, for anyone that's new to my content, I'm MC Seeker of Truth. I've done over 30 videos, including, crucially, 30 reasons I don't trust Charlie Ward. I've done over 30 videos on Charlie, and I've exposed him numerous times, usually reviewing things that he's said and, you know, showing how they're not true. I can prove they're not. Debunking him, or he'll backtrack on them, and even in response to my exposures of him, will backtrack on them. And by the way, I've recently put a lot of those important videos into a playlist. I don't know why I didn't do it before, but so you can easily find those videos on Charlie Ward and all of the many things, the many lies, the many things that I've exposed about this man. You know, I've interviewed this man. I have. You know, he's had to respond to my videos in his videos and interviews. I've done countless videos and interviews about him. So if you are not familiar with my content, it's well worth you going back through my library, through that playlist, and finding out all the things there are to know about this man. Charlie Ward has a history of pushing something and then backtracking on it under pressure, or just plain getting caught out in a lie. Plain getting caught out spreading false information. So for memory purposes, and for those that are new to my content and the exposés on this man, let's go back over a few examples of what I'm talking about here, of him sort of backtracking or being caught in a lie. Or, of course, as he seems to often do, spreading false information. So, the first example we will review is when Biden was inaugurated. Charlie proclaimed that he'd received a video of Biden's inauguration well before it was broadcast, and therefore it was recorded. Now, this wasn't true, and it was proven that he was spreading false information. And watch him backtrack and squirm a little here. He actually made an admission that he was duped. He was sent a video of swearing in of Vice President Biden 8 years ago for Obama. Man, how could you screw this up?
For most people who follow me, they know that I published the video of the inauguration 10 hours before it happened.
Yes.
So that tells you something.
The recording, yeah.
It was a recording. I've since found out that we now believe that the video that was sent to me about the inauguration 10 hours before was 8 years before, when he was inaugurated as
Vice President.
Obama's vice president. So somebody was being a bit playful. But what it did do was it got you, the people, to go out and ask questions.
And then there was the Greg Hallett fiasco. Now, there was a guy called Greg Hallett, or proclaiming himself King John III, who said that he was the rightful King of England. And Charlie fully backed this claim, was saying things like the real King of England on, when he interviewed him. And so this is very noteworthy. And Greg Hallett is someone that I extensively, when I first started my channel, debunked and was fighting this disinformation. Charlie Ward was spreading it, and he got sort of very popular on the back of spreading this information, because everyone wanted a new king, didn't trust the royal family. So let's have a quick look at that and him backtracking on that.
With Greg Hallett, the real King of England. He has a bunch of titles. Has a bunch of titles and fulfills all the predictions.
God save Donald Trump. God save our children. And God save King John III.
I'm gonna give you a bombshell piece of information.
Bombshell?
Yeah. The information that we know behind the scenes is that 10, 15 years ago, he and one other guy who are friends or were friends, his friend was the actual bloodline to be King John III. His friend was. And the agreement was that he was going to be the crown prince to his friend. And then it turned out 10, 15 years ago that Greg Hallett was getting signs coming to him, and the signs weren't coming to the other guy. So they basically agreed to switch roles. So that Greg's assumed the role that he was going to be King John III, and the other guy was going to be the crown prince. They agreed with that. And then they fell out. And that's why all the books of those histories have been destroyed. So that's the truth about what actually happened. Now, Greg has assumed the role because he was seeing all the signs and he was getting all the markers, etc., etc., etc. The symbology, the numerology, etc., etc. So that's why he assumed the role.
So you're saying that Greg saw some symbols and numbers and therefore assumed the role of king instead of someone who is supposed to have an actual bloodline of royalty. So he saw some codes and assumed the role of King of England. What? How does that make any sense? Why would anyone want this guy as their king? Especially now everyone's going to realise that he's been lying about who he is. Not only him, but all of you guys have been lying.
And I knew that information right from the start. But I just thought, I'm going to give you the airtime and see if you actually tell everybody what has happened. And he's chosen at this stage not to do so. If he chooses to tell everybody that, then I think it would do an awful lot of good. But you're the first person to know that information outside this tiny circle.
Oh, thank you for sharing.
Dave Mahoney knows the truth. Lee Dawson knows the truth. Jack Kidd knows the truth. I'm not going to force him to tell the truth. That's his job.
I just wanted you to have him back on your show.
I have no problem with having anybody on my show, none whatsoever. No, Jack Kidd. Jack Kidd found him, and Jack said, "I think we should investigate him." And Jack Kidd brought him along, and we chatted to him. Jack Kidd introduced him to me, and we talked to him, and we found him a very interesting guy. And then Dave Mahoney, who's a friend of mine down here, was a film producer, said, "Charlie, I'd love to do a documentary about him. Can I have control?" I said, "Of course you can, no problem at all." So Dave Mahoney's always managed him.
Now, I don't want to get too far off the topic. I want to get back into Charlie's new revelation about the QFS, that he, was talking bullshit, as I've known for years, and many people have, and some of you might be finding this video today and thinking, well, maybe he is full of shit. He is. So I don't want to get too far off topic. I don't want to keep replaying old stuff, but here's one more example of him doing the same thing. But this time it's about it's financial. It's about him encouraging people to invest in foreign exchange, forex, Zims, dinar, etc. And let's see what he was saying about that and how he backtracked again. It's very interesting. It's very interesting, this one, compared to how he was talking about this financial reset and him being in charge of the QFS. We'll look at this example. I'll show you some more examples towards the end of the video, but we'll talk about this and then we'll get back into him talking about the QFS.
My mum bought some dinars, Charlie, and I still don't really understand what she's supposed to do with them. Like,
Hang on to them for now.
Okay.
As soon as I get the green light, I'll let everybody know in our group, because they'll be exchanged for. We'll give you a rate that we'll exchange them for, and you can either exchange them with us, or there's other ways you can exchange them, or we'll give you a choice.
And what is the RV going to do for people who hold these currencies? Is it linked to like humanitarian aid? Like in what way?
The Zims are linked to humanitarian aid.
Okay.
Because the numbers are, I had over a quadrillion Zim,
Oh,
so wow. that needs to go back into humanity.
Right.
So yeah, the Zims are for humanitarian projects. The dinar and the dong, I think a lot of people, that just by the mentality of the group of people that we're associated with, they want to help other people. That's why we're on this journey. We're out there to help other people rather than kill other people. So a lot of people through choice when they come into extreme wealth will want to help other people rather than hide it away.
Right. Okay.
Jeez, we want to help other people rather than kill them. Pretty extreme choice of words there, Charlie. So this is Charlie Ward 12 months ago, August 2021. Seems to think he knows exactly what's going on after encouraging people to buy this forex, this foreign exchange currency, at overinflated prices. It's okay, don't worry, trust his plan. When things change, you can redeem this money. They'll give you exchange rates and you can redeem it with them or other people. Now, it seems that Charlie's got a very short memory. I mean, we know this from before. He says a lot of things over the years. People just forget that he said them. He just then changes what he's saying over time, slowly. But yeah, let's see 12 months later, how cocksure he is about all of this, as he seemingly forgets what he said 12 months before to Tiana.
Very importantly, I wanted to talk to you about, there's been some worries about the ongoing controversy about the RV Tier 4 redemptions, I believe, because I think it was Benjamin Fulford who announced the idea that those who brought the Vietnamese dong, the Iraqi dinar, and the Zimbabwe Zim are suddenly, I think, going to be rich when the currencies shoot up in value after the RV they're actually clearly victims of a scam, is what he was saying. And then
God bless Benjamin Fulford. One thing's for sure is he speculated, because he doesn't know, and I don't know, and nobody knows.
God bless him, huh? But you were claiming you did know a year ago.
What I know is about the quantum financial system is because I am the official spokesperson for the quantum financial system.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Right.
When it comes to the revaluation of currencies, very simply, there are a number of people who told me to buy Zims, dinar and dong. The first things I bought was Zimbabwe Zims, and I bought a quadrillion of them for about 500 euros. And if they're not worth anything, it's not going to break my heart.
Yeah, no, I get that.
I bought a few Iraqi dinar and a few Vietnamese dong. About 100 euros worth. Not a big deal.
Not going to break your heart. It's not going to break your bank either, is it, Charlie? With all that insider club money you're getting in. But what about all the people that you encourage to do the same? What if they staked everything on that and spent money? And for them, they shouldn't have done so, and they obviously shouldn't place their trust so readily in people like yourself. But, you know, for them, will it break their heart? Will it break their bank? I know of people that have been struggling through putting their faith in things like this, of what you're saying, and ending up, through fault of their own, but also through fault of yours and advice of yours, ending up in sticky situations right now through all this.
Now, I have been told that they could be worth a fortune. They could be. I don't know. Nobody knows yet.
You seem to be pretty sure about this a year ago, Charlie. You really did. Now, nobody knows, of course.
Because we're not at that phase. And when we are at that phase, the minute your exchange happens, if it happens, you go under an NDA. So you can't tell anyone.
Right.
Oh yeah, Charlie. Let's not forget. Those pesky NDAs, huh? Yeah.
So there's people out there saying, oh, it's not going to happen because they're digging. That's all they are. They're little diggers. Diggers or swamp creatures. They're at the bottom of the pond digging anyway.
You've called me a bottom feeder and a swamp creature before. Am I one of those people you're referring to, Charlie? Am I? I'm not digging I'm not digging at the bottom. I'm not moaning about people. I'm looking for the truth. I'm digging, yeah. I'm it's not hard to dig and see these things repeatedly lied about, or information that's repeatedly wrong. I mean, I'm just pointing out what the obvious, which a lot of people don't seem to see without having someone point out for them.
They're trying to find out and they don't know. It's probably better to be honest and say, I don't know.
Then why didn't you do that a year ago, Charlie? Why don't you ever do that until, times like these when you're getting put under a lot of pressure? People questioning why you said things before, why things haven't come true. Why is that the only time that you say, I don't know? Because you seem pretty cocksure before all of that. So Charlie Ward has been making a lot of money off of being so popular, having a insiders club, as we've talked about before. He's getting $11 or euros or whatever it is a month off of each person that wants to be part of the insider information that he doesn't have, and to be a part of that group. In the last 2 years, we've seen Charlie kind of start to hide behind a wall of his own website, where all of his videos are going directly to his website. He doesn't have accounts now on other media platforms to show his videos, although other people might manage to rip them and put them on their own channel. He is hiding from scrutiny, external pressure from critics, skeptics, and thorough researchers, and any of their comments or attempts to try and awaken some of his more loyal followers to some of the lies that has come out of his mouth. So he's been hiding behind this. I say hiding behind his website. He's been profiting from people coming there for his information. And the latest and perhaps biggest backtrack of all, and the crumbling of his false narratives and outright lies, has just finally happened. So no doubt feeling under pressure of the enormity of the lie, and probably from a lot of loyal fans who are probably growing very impatient after waiting years and telling people, no, you just wait, the QFS is around the corner. Oh no, now apparently it's live. We'll get into that. So now over 4 years since Charlie started proclaiming to be involved with the QFS, and claiming to be an official spokesperson for the QFS, quantum financial system, and having access and being privy to high-level intelligence regarding it, even signing apparently NDAs around the matter, of course, assuring everyone that it's real and that he is an authority on it. He's just found out, apparently, and Hannah's just told people that, it was all bullshit. Saw that coming. Now, let's not forget, like I'm sure many have forgotten, but let's not forget the sheer amount of bullshit Charlie has spun around this narrative. Now was perhaps a good time to look back on Charlie claiming that he spoke to a cleaner when he phoned up the central bank regarding this. Charlie claims that he rang the central bank and he was on the phone and he got put through to a department and the cleaning lady answered. Now, this cleaning lady was busy dusting the quantum financial system top secret computers, and he had a nice little chat with her about when the QFS is going live. It's ridiculous. I rang up the central bank, right? And the cleaning lady was on shift. And she picked up and she said, "Oh, well, you know, I have access to the CCTV room too." And what she did was she burned off the CCTV of the phone call with Charlie Ward. It did happen. So let's take a look at the CCTV footage from inside the bank.
And I mentioned the other day, I phoned up the central bank because we were doing something else, and I was having a chat with them. They put me through to a department, and the cleaner picked up the phone.
Sadie, the cleaner, with trusty scrubbing brush and pail of water.
I'm like,
hello.
I'm not the Messiah. I'm just Charlie. So can you help me?
Oh no, I'm just a cleaner. I'm not qualified to give financial advice, but I will do my best to be helpful.
Oh, okay. So how's it going in there?
Oh, well, you know, it's quite quiet. No one here to answer the phones.
What do you think of the new computer system? It's nice, isn't it?
Oh, well, it's beautiful. You're cleaning it just now.
When do you think they're going to turn it on then?
Well, I suppose I haven't signed any non-disclosure agreement, so I can tell any Tom, Dick and Charlie about it. I think it will be the beginning of April. Not long now.
Because she's not under an NDA, she's just being helpful. And I was being naughty.
Naughty. You are being naughty now. I really must get back to work. These computers are not going to clean themselves.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
He's awesome.
Clean lady.
So, small disclaimer. Yes, of course, that was a skit. However, this was the story that Charlie did tell. This is basically what Charlie had said had happened. He called a central bank. They put him through to a department where, of course, the top secrets, quantum financial system computers were installed. And she picked up the phone, as cleaning ladies do, I guess, in banks, and then had said, I'm with I'm with these top secret computers. I'm cleaning them now. I'm not under a non-disclosure agreement, so of course I'll tell you that they should be switched on at the beginning of April. And yeah, that's his story. And he says, I was being a cheeky Charlie. That is absurd. So Charlie is now saying that he found out that it was bullshit, or trying to tell people, okay, now I found out some differing information after all these years. Well, there's a shocker. Not. I told you years ago he was lying. Just like with all the other things that he was lying about. And here's his confession to get the heat off of him. After, duping apparently millions of followers for so long. His explanation? Of course, it was a white hat operation to distract.
On a hell of a journey. I've done 3,500 interviews. I've probably done 3,000 since I spoke to you.
Yeah, I've lost track.
Yeah, it's a real pleasure and an honor to have you on here.
Thank you. I have no idea the number of platforms and all over the world I've been on, and the water under the bridge and the attacks that I didn't even think I would get. Man, they just want to really hijack everything, don't they?
Don't they just? I don't know if the girls managed to get across to your message that I got about the quantum financial system and the BRICS bank system.
I don't know either what you're referring to.
Basically, just to give it, because I was going to talk to you about it because of the fact that I got a message through saying that the quantum financial system, this is from one of my spiritual guys, who said to me, the QFS is not asset-backed but the BRICS Bank is. But the QFS was a white hat operation to distract. That's what I was told yesterday.
Oh, I'll have to research that. I haven't.
Please do. Please do.
This is from one of your spiritual guys. What happened to you being the official spokesperson and having inside intel for the QFS? Someone that's given you spiritual information has told you this, and now you're like, oh, yeah, maybe that's true. It doesn't seem like you were too sure about this information you were being given, and about this position, official position you've been given as the spokesperson for QFS. Someone was giving you spiritual information, and they told you that the QFS was a white hat operation, and you believe that, and that's information now you're going to spread. You expect the people that have followed you and have stood by you and have taken what you've said and have cheered for you when you're on stage, for you to turn around and say, oh, well, I talked to some spiritual guy and he said that it was all bullshit. So just letting you know, it's all bullshit now. Come on! This is terrible! And people are going to swallow that? And this is your out, is it? This is your excuse. This is your way to be like, oh, well, now I found out conflicting information. So just to let you know, it was all bullshit. Sorry about the last 4 years. Mate, you are a tosser. Well, there it is. I wondered whether Charlie would ever admit, or whether he would keep this. How many years can you keep this going for, really? You know, how many years can you keep saying, oh, it's round the corner? Or, you know, back in 2021, as we saw with the cleaning lady skit, around that time, he was saying it was going live in April. And I thought, well, it's not, because you're lying. So how much longer are people going to ride this wave of disinformation? And how much longer can he continue to lie and get away with it and spin things? Very interesting. But let's not forget how this man had the gall and the cheek to get up on stage, as he does, as he's done many events, to get up on stage and whip the crowd up into a frenzy by saying that the QFS had gone live.
As most people in the room here know, that my main focus is I've been the official spokesperson for the new financial system, the quantum financial system. Today I have some massive news for you. I only had permission earlier to tell you. I've been sat on this for a long time, and it's very hard for me, because I wanted to tell you all for a long time. We all know that BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, went gold-backed earlier this year. We know that. We know that Saudi Arabia has joined them. We know that Argentina has joined them. We know that a few countries have joined them. The United Kingdom has a sterling token rather than a Great British pound, but the banks don't know about it yet. And they're plugged in to the quantum financial system. And 48 hours ago, it went live. So what does that mean? What does that mean to you? What that means to you is that the deep state and the cabal now only have paper. The United States still has the US dollar. Behind the scenes, it now has the US note, the USTN for long term. The US note is for transactions. The US note is gold backed. And at the moment, you get 1-to-1 US dollar to 1-to-1 note.
Did you notice the little pause just before he said it, that it had gone live, you know, for dramatic effect? What a wanker. I wonder how many will see the light now. I've said this before when I did 30 Reasons, when I've done all of the exposés that I've done on this man, all of the times I've caught him out lying. I wonder how many will see the light now. And I really hope they do. I've given up on doing these videos. I know I'm doing another one again, but it's been a while, and I can't keep doing this forever. And there's loads of other people out there that are seeing the same as me. There's loads of other people out there that are talking about this man and his lies, or other dodgy stuff around him, And there are always going to be these loyal hangers-on. No matter, after this, I'm sure people will go, oh, well, he was just following the white hat's instructions. I don't know, but I'm hoping that there'll be a whole new wave of people seeing the light around this. I hope to God. And, I do these videos to help people. It's not like I'm benefiting off of this, at least, in any significant sense. So we'll see, how many will see the light now. This man is nothing but a liar. A pretty clever one to have so many holding on. But, if you look under the bonnet of this man, and you will surely see he's an opportunist, a grifter, and nothing much more than a glorified, dodgy car salesman. With the gift of the gab and having the ability to spew these false narratives, to insert himself into certain information. Some may say, call conspiracies. Some know where there's an element of truth. But for him to hijack them and to claim that he is someone noteworthy with special intel, when he really is not. And I don't know how many more videos I can do and how many more times I can go, look, guys, hey, watch this. Look what he's doing here. Look how he's doing this. Look how he's lying and backtracking and all that. I don't know. But it makes me ponder, yet again, as I have done before, years ago, if perhaps nefarious organisations or networks have hijacked Charlie's popularity, his talents, recruiting him, or perhaps even his naivety. Have hijacked him with feeding him false information to disperse to the masses, or the masses in a certain circle, and perhaps work for the dark side and make freethinkers look stupid for believing him again and again. After all, over 4 years, people blindly believing he was a key figure in a financial sort of reset here. For him being this massive figure in the QFS thing, for him to turn around and say, oh, sorry, I've just been told it was a distraction and untrue. It really must be alarming, even for his most loyal of followers. They must be, they must be wondering now, surely. But I've said this before, time and time again, but I really do think that there must be a lot of people waking up to him through this. And then there's there's all of his catalogue of previous lies and backtracking. So in this next part, we will focus and recap on some more of those lies and backtracking, especially for any people new to my content and exposure of this man. We'll start with what opened up my 30 Reasons video, which was Charlie saying that he had got intel that martial law was about to happen. And of course, it didn't.
It's done. The deep state collapses. The best is coming now. The official announcement of martial law and a legitimate military government has been in effect since 12 a.m. on January the 20th, 2021. The US military government will take control by force of an official media, radio, television, and newspaper across the United States this Friday, the 5th of February. That's today. at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This includes the acquisition of all US channels on the broadcast satellites that broadcast live in Europe. With a satellite reception antenna, who receive US channels can no longer be censored and will therefore find out the truth from Friday evening, February the 5th, which is today.
Well, where are you reading this from?
On my screen.
What's the source?
It's come to me from a very, very good source that's working in high office. So I have had it verified by 2 different people.
Today is the day, and
today's the day,
yeah.
And we don't like giving out dates, do we, Nick? This is where truth is. When we're told something's going to happen, and it happens, then we can establish that it's truth.
Okay, to look at something a little bit different, where he has backtracked again, something that's quite vile in mine and many others' opinion. I was the one to bring it to you about Charlie's Top of the Pops revelation, where he says that he procured young girls to go onto the Top of the Pops and be with a notable personality. Wonder who that could be. But he had said to these girls that they would want to shag them.
Really? Many years ago, I was involved with a certain television personality that allowed me access into the BBC. I used to be able to get onto a very famous program called Top of the Pops. And a lot of the girls would say to me, Charlie, get me on Top of the Pops. And I could take probably 5 or 10 girls on a week. And I said, well, I'll take you on, but you'll end up having to shag the bloke that, if you know, he'll probably want to shag. And they were like, no problem, we come, you know. And there was never a problem.
Right.
Now 30 years on, and their marriage is dissolved and they're in their 50s and 60s, it's suddenly become a problem. It wasn't a problem all those years ago.
Right, exactly.
And I remember these girls saying, I'm quite happy to come there. So I'm very, very careful. Now, there is a lot of bad things going on, for definite. And there was bad things going on there because a lot of these girls were young girls, you know. And back in the sort of 80s, I didn't think anything of it. The moral compass was out of sync, I think.
I mean, it's just despicable, you know. I mean, it's just awful. And gives an insight into who this man really is and how sort of trustworthy he is, and where his moral compass is at, as he kind of alludes to at the end there. And let's not forget, lastly, that this man said that he spoke to Q, and Q was, you know, loving Charlie's show and the information he's putting out. Yeah, right, Charlie.
I was saying I was talking to Q this morning. It was very, very interesting, the directions that he was seeing the way that we were going. Right. And it was really, really nice because he said that they'd been following me. Yay. And what I was saying, and they commended what I was doing.
So there is one more crucial and shocking example, but I will include it into this last segment. When a child victim claimed an interview with him that she remembers him from one of the private planes that trafficked her. And then him backtracking on that after I did my video about it and him trying to explain himself, right? So to finish the story out here, I want to show all of the threats and lies that Charlie has put out about me, just for highlighting stuff that he's said and bringing forward my research on this man. Just absolute attempts at damage control and pure slander towards me. None of it ever, you know, justified or anything, any claims that he'd made, even with me challenging him to do so, because I know that it was all bullshit. It's just horrible stuff that he'd come out with to try and take the heat off him that I'd put on him by me just revealing what I'd found out and reviewing what he'd said and pointing out where he was lying. So take a look at some of these clips.
Oh, yeah, I'm totally aware of the onslaught that's against us all. I've just learned from previous experiences not to respond, because that's all they want is a response. I know the truth, and what they're trying to do is trying to provoke a reaction. This particular guy came on my show about a year ago when I started. Turns out he's an ex-police officer. He was removed from the police force for falsifying documents. He's just a little worm, but he's desperate for a response, so I'm not even going to bother to respond. I'm telling you all, I'm absolutely fine. I'm really happy. Things are really good, and we're coming into an exciting week. Stay positive and don't let these horrible little trolls destroy our lives. The best thing is to rise above them and just not respond to them, not give them any response whatsoever, and then they'll just die. Because they thrive on people responding.
So first of all, you make up a fabricated story to try and discredit me, saying that I was a disgraced police officer, and you ask your followers to pay me no attention and to not look at the content and to not comment on it, not talk about it. It's damage control, trying to discredit me, and there's nothing to it. So where was the proof of this, Charlie? Of course, it wasn't true, and then you would go on to change your story. So next, with the latest video I brought out, you had a different story.
I got a load of messages this morning saying, do you know that this truth seeker has been attacking you? I said,
yeah.
But to me, it just shows that we're over the target. Because the woman that I interviewed that claimed that she was trafficked.
When I very first saw you, Charlie, I swore I knew you. And then I heard you talk. And I swear to you, I've met you before on a private plane, going to one. I wish I had a map right here with me.
Hold on. Did Sabrina just say she recognises and remembers Charlie Ward from the private jet from when she was trafficked as a child?
There's an island that's down. Did you go to many islands?
I went to islands, but they were in the Far East rather than the Caribbean side.
I went to them all over the world.
The Philippines, Thailand, off those coasts.
Is there one right off of Japan? Not like Okinawa, but like if you went further out just a little bit.
There's quite a few islands there, but I've never been to those ones.
You've never been to those, Kate? Because that's where I keep thinking. But anyway, like I could be wrong, but I swear. But anyway.
Yeah. I don't know if she was trafficked or not, but she reckons that she saw me on a plane 25 years ago. Okay. Can you tell me something? That was me 25 years ago. Would you recognize me?
No, absolutely not. Nope.
Exactly. I just got my lawyers onto it this morning. I said, fine, this is who it is. This is where he lives. He doesn't even know that we know where he lives. He'll shit himself when he finds out that we know where he lives. But I've got some of the top lawyers in the UK that will pay him a little visit soon.
And so now you're saying that lawyers are going to be knocking at my door. However, you soon thought about this afterwards. You know, you've told the world, oh, lawyers are going to be knocking on his door. We know where he lives, etc. And you thought about it afterwards, of course, and thought, well, hang on a minute, this is not true, and it's not going to stop him. There's no legal recourse because literally I'm just showing the things that you're saying. So what do you do next? You say that we're deep state and that you can't touch us. You can't touch us legally. So instead, you're going to try and incite people to come to our doorstep.
We now know who the trolls really are, and they're all funded by the Secret Service. So they're not just. So then that gave us another problem with our legal team. Because if you go to the police and report them, they're in the same swamp.
That's right.
So you can't go to the police. And my lawyer said even the judges are corrupt too. We know that with the Supreme Court in America. So there was a suggestion that myself, Dave Mahoney and Lee Dawson go knock on their door and just introduce ourselves and see what they have to say and read them the riot act about behaviour. But at the end of the day, they're just pawns. That's all they are. They're paid prostitutes by the deep state. And we could very easily go out publicly and name them publicly and put their addresses out publicly. But we're just discussing with legal teams at the moment the right way to handle them, to make them realize you can't go out and lie about people and create a load of stories and twist what people say. Claire, who I work very closely with as well, who you both know, her and I did some research, and we found out in no time at all that the 4 main trolls that are trolling us are all paid for by MI5 and MI6 in the UK. So the minute you know that these are just little guinea pigs. These are out of work little bastards who are trying to create a name for themselves, but being funded for by the deep state and the cabal. But what it does mean is we now have a decision to make, because there's no point us going to the police because they're all in the same bed. And if it goes to court, the judges are in the same bed.
Absolutely.
So our options are basically to name them, their real names rather than their fake names, and maybe publish their addresses. Or for myself, Dawson and Mahoney, to rock up at their house and just have a face-to-face with them and see what they've got to say for themselves face-to-face.
You couldn't paint more of a picture of, like, you know, a mob boss with henchmen behind him if you tried.
And teach them the rules of life, that you don't put out lies and bullshit about people, even if somebody is paying you to do it, because we know who their paymaster is. We now have the evidence. We've actually got the paper trail.
You've now fabricated that we're all deep state and being paid by the MI6. And it's brilliant. You say that you've got a paper trail. So I can't wait for you to show us that evidence fabricated. You know, you are, you know, a gold medal winning, champion, trophy holding, record scoring Muppet, mate.
Because we've got some clever people behind the scenes. So we have the paper trail of who's involved, and we got the paper trail of the finances that they've been paid for doing this. So we've got everything we need. It's a question now of how we go about it. It's like holding 2 or 3 aces in your hand and thinking, how do I play this? And that's where we're at right now. But it's really, really exciting.
Yeah, no, and I think I'm really glad you addressed it like that, Charlie. You know, we all love you. And what you know, how you deal with everything is just with dignity.
For myself, Dawson and Mahoney, to rock up at their house and just have a face-to-face with them and see what they've got to say for themselves face-to-face, and teach them the rules of life.
Amazing way you're dealing with it, Charlie.
I don't know if you know, but I've been trolled along with Claire and Nick and a few others. We've got 3 or 4 trolls who've been after us and saying I'm a paedophile and saying all this kind of rubbish, absolute garbage. And we got some very, very good people who work on the inside, who've done some research, and you'll never guess. All 4 of the trolls that we've now found out their names and addresses where they live. They're all paid for by MI5, MI6, and the deep state. They're all funded by them. So it just goes to show. So because they're paid for by MI5 and MI6, there's no point going to the police to complain because they're all in the same bed. And you can't go to the courts because they're in the same bed. So there's other options open to us, like publishing their address.
And will you?
Who knows? Somebody might.
Well, yeah. I mean,
but even if somebody just knocks up at their door, I mean,
that's it.
Just to introduce them to the fear of God.
You know, how you deal with everything is just with dignity.
Yeah, we've got to defend yourself, Charlie, and it's not right. So,
look, as Vladimir Putin. As Vladimir Putin rightly says, it's not our job to judge you. It's our job to send you to a man who will.
Exactly.
Why don't you turn up at their door, Charlie? You and Lee Dawson and some of your very...
I would love to. Wouldn't it? That would it'd be quite good fun, actually.
So all that fabricated nonsense was 7 months ago, Charlie. So where is all the evidence of that? Where is this paper trail that apparently shows that I'm being paid by MI6? I'm not. It never materialised because it wasn't true, because it was fabricated for you to try and discredit me. So what's Charlie saying about me now? I mean, what he's saying about me now is, what he was saying before was bad and the threats and stuff, but now it's criminal. Let's have a look at what he's calling me and what he's saying about me now.
For those people that just a little bit of fun, for those people who saw when I got trolled by M. Seeker, and then he dragged my son and Matthew Hardingan. There was none more worse for me than when my son suddenly turned against me and started doing 3 videos. Not nice at all.
Yeah, well, you see, they took advantage of your son. Your son has problems. These people that have done this to me too, but that was the worst to me. I was never so angry in my life than when I saw them do that to you.
Okay, let's get this straight. I never turned your son against you, and I never dragged your son or Matthew Harding into anything. So let's start with your son, Glenn. He did an interview with Darren, and Darren reached out to me and said, "Oh, do you want to be part of this interview?" And I said, "No, actually, I don't. You know, I don't want to be interviewing his family. They're going to make accusations that I'm targeting his family, etc." So they went ahead and did an interview anyway. I showed it on my channel. It was only after that, and the cat was out the bag, and he'd said about his life and you know what he thought, and that he was trying to help people by trying to show them, you know, the real Charlie Ward. It was only after then when he had said that he would like to do an interview with me, and we even cleared that up on the interview with your son Glenn. You know, I even asked him, and he said, no, we never spoke before, you know, and you know I wanted to do an interview with you. So what was I to do? You know, the cat's already out the bag. I just gave him a platform to talk about his father. And when it comes to Matthew Harding, he was your friend for a very long time. You guys fell out. Why did you fall out? Because he was telling you to stop spreading bullcrap, right? So he had already expressed that, and he was in my inbox months and months and months before this had happened. I mean, he wasn't saying that he would do an interview with me, but he was telling me, you know, how you guys fell out and what he thinks. And he was more than happy as well to come on and share that with people. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I didn't turn anyone against you. They both were already trying to speak out and were already trying to save people from the lies that you were spreading.
Well, it turns out he's a paedophile, so he's just protecting his own. And there's a group of them out there trying to expose him. So karma's a wonderful thing.
There's not a group out there trying to expose me. There's nothing to expose. I'll tell you what there is. There's a group out there that follow this fake king, another fake king, not the same one I've been talking about all this time, but one I made a video on recently. And I'll share more about how you've come to this conclusion that I am the P word, right? There's no group trying to expose me. There's a group trying to smear me, a group trying to defame me, a group committing offences, criminal offences. And, you know, I will follow that up. And in fact, I'll follow up what you're doing here. It's criminal, and you need to detract these statements before I sue you. There is no evidence out there of supposed crimes that I've committed. There's some fake documents from some fake courts. These are clearly fake. You didn't even bother to look into it, Charlie, did you? No, because anyone that gives you intel, you just take it and run with it and put it on your show for clicks and likes and views. It's awful. And this, I mean, this time you've done it because this is criminal. You can't go about saying stuff like that with absolutely no evidence. There wouldn't be any evidence because it's not true. And if you bother to look into it, you'd go, I'm not going to touch that. But no. You were so pleased to hear this, you didn't even bother to look into it. Like, you don't even bother to look into any intel that you get. People send you stuff, and you just put it on your channel and say that it's intel from secret sources.
I had him on my show to try and out him over a year ago, 18 months ago, when he started trolling me. And then he had another go, and I just decided it wasn't worth the time. It wasn't worth the effort. I knew what he was. He was dirty. He was just a troll. He was paid. He was paid opposition. And I don't waste my time on that. I don't waste my time. I spend my time on doing good, ethical research.
Good, ethical research. Oh, is that right? Is that right? Where's your good, ethical research in any of this? In fact, when do you display any research in any of your videos? But where is the good, ethical research around any of this? Around what you said 7 months ago? Around what you're saying now? There's nothing. And I challenged you to provide any research around it, and what you said certainly wasn't ethical, and what you're saying now certainly isn't ethical, and you certainly don't have any research on it. And you said, oh, I had him on my show 18 months ago to expose him. No, you didn't. I cleared up that people were saying that you were linked to the Clinton Foundation. I did my bit, and respectfully, no matter even if you were promoting this fake king that I was trying to expose, you know, I said, you know, I've looked into this, it's not true. You know, I threw you a bone because it wasn't true and people were spreading that around. I told you about that and you thanked me and you said, why don't you tell all of your followers about my new website where you can pay €11 a month? And I said, you know what, come on my show and you can tell them yourself. That's how that happened. And I can show that's how that happened. And then you came on and you told me what a good job and how the world needs more people like me, right? And what did I do? I subtly exposed you by asking you questions, showing clips of yourself and letting you talk. And then a few months later, I made 30 Reasons and I based that around some of the stuff that people might have missed that subtly that you exposed in the in the interview that I did with you. That's how that happened.
We found out the end of last week as well that the person who tried to take me down, who got a hold of my son, is wanted on paedophile charges in America.
Of course they are.
So, in a way, it sort of, you go, there you go, but it doesn't do anything for me, because at the end of the day, I was bullied at school and it hurt. When you get these people who just talk shite, that doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt at all. It just means that you're right over the target.
Right over the target, my ass. Right, okay, so how did Charlie get this information? Well, he was messaged this information by who? By a group trying to expose me. No, they are just trying to smear me. And let me explain. To explain this, I need to go back 1 month, where I made a video where I went undercover to expose a grifter who was calling himself the son of JFK. He called himself Patrick Kennedy, and also that he's the rightful King of England. Now, I knew this wasn't true. I'd exposed him before a year ago. Of course, he never turned up at my door, and he never produced any of the non-existent evidence around any of the claims about me, which he kept flip-flopping. Oh, he's a police officer, or no, he's MI5. I mean, come on now. It's just all bullshit. And let's, just add here that all of these things that he'd said about me were years ago, and not a shred of evidence produced. Just like not a shred of evidence produced in any of the claims, in any of the things that he says. He never, and with the QFS, never provided any information or any evidence around anything that he said, right? But he will tell you he signed NDAs, so he can't. I mean, this man is just deplorable. And if you want to see me going undercover in an interview with that fake king and criminal, Gareth Barrett, you can find the video on my channel. It's hilarious. I created a channel. I wore a wig. I put on an American accent. And I interviewed this guy. And he hadn't a clue. He hadn't a Scooby. He didn't know. And he knew who I was. And I'd already exposed this man before. But he didn't have a clue. Yeah, he didn't know until the reveal and when I actually stung him. Okay, guys, thank you for watching. If you follow or believe this man, I really do hope this video wakes you up. I really do. And thank you for everyone that supported me over the years. And if anyone wants to support me, they can do so by liking this video, sharing it about, and especially to anyone that still believes in Charlie Ward or any of the nonsense and lies that he spews. Just like, share, and comment on my video to help, with the algorithm and help with the interaction. And people, they like to view the comments. They like to see what you've got to say about this. So like, comment, share. And if you want to go one step further, you can do. Many people have gone one step further and they've bought me a coffee, for which I'm always thankful. There is a link in the description where you can support my work and encourage me to do more. And I always really appreciate that. So, if you want to do that, you can. Much love to all of you that have done that in the past, like, sharing, commenting, and going the one step further to show me that you appreciate the work. Much love to you all. I really do appreciate you, and much love to anyone that may continue to do so. And that's it for today. Charlie was talking shit all these years about QFS. It was nonsense, and he's now said it was a white hat operation. Of course. This man will continue. He will continue as long as people out there let him continue. And Charlie, karma's coming for you. Thanks a lot. See you on the next one, whenever that may be. I'm MC Crew of Truth. Good night.